Hey, it's Matt here, back again with another one of my minimalist diaries. Right here, I am now in the barn. It looks pretty unrecognizable. If you just take a quick look around, you will see that things have become very much advanced in here, and I've really brought the place up. I've moved all of the stuff from the bedrooms in the house all over to the barn here. You know, all my needs down to just one space, and that space being no longer a whole house, but just simply this barn. And that's what it's all about. Not just getting rid of stuff, which I've really been working at. I have been getting rid of a few things and pushing stuff, basically pushing everything out of the house into the barn, and then pushing everything out of the barn out into the yard there, ready to be tossed out or burned or whatever, got rid of in whatever way it needs to be done. So what I'm doing here is basically trying to get all my belongings into this barn, so that my needs for subsisting, just with the stuff that I want to keep and hold on to, and now my requirements are met simply by this barn. I've got a bedroom, I've got a microwave, hob, fridge, and I'm still using the kitchen in the house mainly for a lot of things, but it means that I'm learning slowly to get the amount of stuff I need really down to just a small space, smaller requirements. And what I'm learning through this whole process is that a lot of stuff just really isn't worth it. You know, a lot of the things that you think that you want, that you think are going to make your life better, the payoff just isn't worth it. That's what I realized when I used to save so much money. It's thinking, when you save money, a lot of the reason you do that is because the things that you're paying for just aren't worth it. Spending that money is not giving you the value back that you used to work for that money, and so many things are like that. You find that in the end, the effort and what you've committed to it isn't really worth it. And that doesn't mean it's not worth doing, because a lot of the things that I've learned in my life, you have to do them to find out for yourself, to understand what's good about something and what doesn't work. And so you're starting to see how the whole concept of this minimalism is starting to spread into such a philosophical approach to so many problems. They've brought a lot of stuff in here simply to start processing it, and to finally say, I just want only the things I can fit in this space, and then I'm going to start pushing them out the door. And over here, if you look, what happened to all these CDs and these posters, because that was a real big issue I was dealing with, all the stuff from Curb. And this is what really kicked off this whole project for me, was that I wanted to get rid of all the stuff that I was still hanging on to from my old business, even though I was moving on from the business, the CDs, the DVDs, the posters, the stuff that I was never going to have anything to do with anymore. And so I wanted to turn it into this art project, I wanted to turn it into this video diary thing, so that I could basically help myself process, and that's what I have been doing. I've been able to get so much insight when you start to decide what it is you really need and what it is that it's okay to get rid of. By taking a look at things, by thinking about things, by talking about things, it helps you to process it, and it helps you to understand. Like, I've just had these posters sitting here for months. Now that I've got all my stuff in here, I'm starting to say, well, does it really bring me much value to have all these posters and CDs sitting on the floor? Well, no. The idea was, all to do with the Curb Archive project, was I was just going to throw it down there, I was going to film it, I was going to smash it up. This was all visuals that I was creating for my music videos, because I love to have this, my music videos have this aesthetic where I just start to mash up imagery, and the imagery is all made up of things that I've filmed and things that I own, and so you just get this kind of swampy stew of all kinds of imagery that triggers off things for me, or things I've owned, things I've seen, things I've been involved in. And that's when I started to realize, by having these things sitting here for long enough, working with them, filming them, taking pictures that I'm going to bring back into my music videos, I started to say, okay, that's it. We're done. all the posters for Curve, the stuff that's not actually to do with my gigs, but just stuff I used to go around putting up in K Road, well, that's all stacked in a pile. I had this whole thing. I was going to glue it all together, and then I was going to rip it up and glue it back together, and have this whole thing where it's just kind of, like I said, deconstructing and bringing it back together until it was just basically nothing, broken down, deconstructed into the raw essence, and then left at that until it was just basically gone. And now I just realised I've processed that. I've gone through that. I've looked at these posters. I've said, look, here we have all these dozens and dozens of posters that are different posters I used to put up on K Road. I used to run around in Auckland putting them up, and I used to love going out after midnight, walking the streets, looking at the posters, looking at each of the street corners, because when you're postering up on the walls, you're actually getting this real aesthetic connection with just all the tiny bits of the city, which is, to me, such an urban sensibility, that you're not just seeing a big urban scape, but you're actually getting into the details of individual walls and corners and streets. It's a real street life vibe. And now that I can kind of grasp that, understand that, process it, I can let it go, because that's what the minimalism thing is all about. That when you're able to let it go, you're able to make more room for what it is that you want in your life, and you are able to subsist, like I'm doing in this barn here, at a lower level, where you don't need to maintain so much. You don't need to. The cost of maintaining this lifestyle does not mean that I'm continually committing myself every day to upkeep and losing focus on the things that I really want. What I did want to do is just take a quick look around where we're at with all of these discs and posters. As I said, this is the material that we're going to be using, visual material for more music videos, because you get that visual impact of the possessions. And they're all going to be gone, and then we're going to be done with this, have a chance to take in more of the barn that we've developed. I got my bookcase there, got my wardrobe there, got some crazy things all along the walls. We've still got, a whole lot of stuff that's a lot of the stuff still gathering up in this corner and on the walls. That still has to be processed. Obviously it's a big process, but of course more displays. That's the room there. It's pretty much become my new bedroom, and like I said, pretty crazy to have all these antiques and furniture in my barn here, but that's the process. Also, we've laid down a lot of carpet and a lot of rugs, but that's the whole process that I'm going under, is just trying to get all my stuff down into this space, so that I don't basically need to use the house. I don't need to use a house. It just frees me up, man, I can just lock this barn up and I can leave. That's what I'm talking about. I own the land, I own the barn. I don't even really need the house. I can rent it out, I can let other people live in there or whatever. My requirements are much smaller, so I got less stress in my life. That's what the whole process is all about. And in that, you're looking to find some freedom. Your day-to-day requirements, efforts, budget is way reduced, because you don't need it. Because at the end of the day, that's what the minimalism thing is all about, isn't it? It's about letting go of what you can let go of to make room for more of the things that you want, for new things to come in, and maybe for that to be processed, but then also for you to be able to focus on the things that you really want, because you don't feel that you've got all these duties and tasks, upkeep maintenance that has to be performed because you've got so many things that need to be looked after, and every time you need to move, you know what moving house is like. Well, you know, I've done a mini move by moving all my stuff into here. You don't want that. You want the simplicity of not having your brain crowded and your life crowded with all these things that you bear some obligation to. And although I've got a lot of work to do still, you know, you'll look around here and see I've got a lot of stuff in here still. We are getting there. And another thing that you'll see is that rather than having all this stuff stuffed in cupboards or in boxes, I'm actually bringing it out. So that's what I'm talking about with these posters. I dumped them all on the floor here. I brought it out. So rather than putting it in a box and forgetting about it and it meaning nothing because it's never seen and never thought about, I've seen it. I've thought about it. I've processed the feelings. I've done these videos. These videos will then become music videos with using the visual imagery. I mean, that's pretty much what posters are, isn't it? They're just visual imagery. They don't really have a lot of value outside of the visual projection that they make. That's what their whole purpose is. So once I've processed that visual imagery into some project that I'm doing, then there's no need to hang on to it. Then I can make more space for the things that I want in my life, and we can keep moving on. With these minimalist diaries, I am trying to do my best to keep what I'm saying concise. We're just trying to build on the concepts. Each of the video opens up more opportunity to discuss more ideas, and I'm getting rid of my stuff, I'm getting through the process, and hopefully we'll keep going and have some more insights as we continue to get rid of more stuff with these minimalist